Cool.
Okay.
Donc, yep, nous continuons et nous allons focus par rapport à argumentative tone. Donc, juste reshare mon screen.
Yeah, for argumentative tone, somebody asked, like, do we have any personal examples of personal opinions, actually?
Au contraire, avant de commencer, je pensais que like, me recevoir des messages et puis des emails where you wanted a compilation of like different expressions or different ways of like saying something, like par exemple, expression, ban proverbe qu'on à l'époque je peux servir, ban d'affaires comme ban linking words, ban façon de comment de faire argumentative tone. To be honest, like however much I think that I can guide you, I've done it in a video already and it's called Watch Your Tone. Donc, à trouver sur YouTube. Je pourrais montrer ça, je pourrais regarder ce que tu as trouvé. But l'exemple que je donne là, c'était là, laisse-moi comprendre actually qui me peut dire par argumentative tone. Peut-être là, je vous franchement comprendre. Et honestly, pour dire ça, franchement, argumentative tone is not really a cup of tea that is easily mastered. But I honestly felt, given, like I've seen a lot of essays, they have a lot of potential to get from good to like one of the best, you know? Donc, I really think it's high time we start implementing it. Donc, qui me peut dire exactement par argumentative tone? Nous pourrions prendre l'exemple de l'essai là, si vous le trouvez, il écrit How important is it to ensure that women have the same opportunities as men? Ok, like, il y a à peu près 3 essais là, topic là. And honestly, the way they were tackled were 3 different ways altogether. But this one was actually like the most mature I saw. Ok, qui t'a regarder de ça? Blier, essayez pas d'être choix, personne pas lire. Just be with me on the title of the question right now. Just go on the question. So now, how important is it to ensure that women have the same opportunities as men? Si je get une vidéo qui m'a fait pour que moi, je sois capable de comprendre une question sur requirement, which had to do with hug those skills, like the reasoning and interpretation ability. Donc, vous avez une question, il y a un affaire qui s'appelle action words et il y a un affaire qui s'appelle the content words. Et c'est un affaire qui pour croire, moi, j'espère que croire moi au moins, lit dans un syllabus GP. Like, c'est ouvert le syllabus GP, like 8001, right? 8001, 8004, 8009.
19.
Ok. Like, c'est ouvert littéralement, vous trouvez là-bas, like, littéralement, Cambridge, in la liste de action words of an essay. Là-bas, il décrit what does examine mean? What does how far do you agree with means? What is the meaning of assess? What is the meaning of how important is it? What is the meaning of discuss? Littéralement, like, they literally put it in your lap. So you have to understand how important is it? Qui different action word mean? You get that question now. The action word over here is how important is it to? That is the action or the action words. The rest, that women have the same opportunities as men, that's the content word. So essay is about women having the same opportunities as men or not. But what should you write about it? There's so many things that you can write about it. You can write about feminism, to write about feminazis, to write about the pros of women being empowered, to write about the cons of women being empowered, to écrire la discrimination qui madame peut faire face, to écrire la discrimination que Michel peut faire face, to littéralement argue the case against feminism and still get a full mark essay on it. Mm-hmm. But is that the question requirement? No, because just those content words in themselves is not your question. Your question is, how important is it to ensure? To what extent, the important as a society, we make sure that gender equality happens. And a lot of students, when you wrote this essay, you didn't understand that. Mm-hmm. Most students ended up writing an essay entirely irrelevant, ended up writing an essay qui superficially talk about gender equality. You didn't even think about what was it, how important is it to ensure. C'est que je suis super content dans l'introduction là. Like, c'est là littéralement, il comprend. Qu'est-ce que c'était? Inequality between genders, premier highlighted là, doesn't only affect individuals, it can change entire economies. Si je comprends bien dans la ligne là, the student understood that this essay title is about a cause and effect relationship. So nicely put, so subtly put, littéralement comprend que the reason of why you should probably fight for gender equality or like support it is because it affects things. Or probably if you do not agree with gender equality, why? And how does it change the world? C'est là carrément comprend que ça, et c'est là, ça va de cause and effect relationship. Et beaucoup d'élèves, comme moi, quand ils prennent et c'est là, je pensais, oh, it's about gender equality, mais ça m'a beaucoup recherché là-dessus. But when it came to tackling it, it was a hard essay to tackle. It really was a hard essay to tackle. Donc, comprends ça bien, the behavior comportement is a requirement. C'est ça même qui vous démarquer de argumentative tone eventually. OK? Et l'autre affaire qui m'a envie de point out ici, en termes de, ouais, de vous trouver en rouge, je vais highlight des affaires. Therefore, this necessarily have to be eradicated. Je suis écrit une pause là-dessus dans un Google Classroom, un erreur super simple de grammaire comme ça. Really good student, amazing maturity of language, but une amende chiffre grammatical. This is a singular adverb. Tu pas qu'à servir un plural verb to conjugate it. OK, donc un verbe super, un affaire super simple en termes de grammaire. Donc, just be careful about these little slips. OK? Yeah. OK. Voilà. Donc, juste moi, j'ai envie de couvrir le affaire là. Donc, so far, que je cargue plus beaucoup de détails aussi que les autres. Donc, vous trouvez Argumentative Tone, c'est le latest épisode 7 qui m'a posté. Donc, qui je peux comprendre exactement par Argumentative Tone, comment ça c'est bien a rhetorical question to add a rhetorical tone, comment c'est le même mot, mais actually demande l'exemple, qui, of course, dépend de la liste demande l'exemple, but at least get your feel into it. Vous êtes dans épisode 4, which is like the plug and play, qui montre exactement le sandwich, topic sentence, covering statement, ou un résumé de ça. Et in terms of the variety of examples, vous êtes dans des épisodes là, épisode N, part 2 et épisode 3, donc just like go and check it out. OK? Maintenant, avant ça, avant nous get to like specific little examples, nous get peut-être un argumentative tone qui nous a fait à l'oral. OK? Parce que je pensais qu'avant nous get un essai, dans une leçon qui était sur un argumentative tone à l'oral, pour que les élèves actually comprennent qui nous veut dire pas ça. OK? Nous actually get, si tu as envie, nous get un, voilà. Je vous trouve à slide là, c'est des trois questions qui m'ont élèves avant qu'ils nous fassent live là, OK? Donc, techniquement, j'ai 3 questions qui m'ont élèves envie de discuter. Si tu as envie, laisse-nous prendre point numéro 3. Assess the measures taken by your country in view of the actual pandemic. Je ne vais pas entrer dans le détail, mais je vais juste envie de montrer les autres comment dire, qui me peut redire exactement par argumentative tone, OK? Premièrement, laisse-nous identify very well in this, qui est un action word, which is assess. OK? Tenant the content word, which is the measures taken by your country in the view of the actual pandemic. Assess veut dire qui te vous dire qui te pays peut faire et que tu peux carrément dire, tu penses ce qui est bon mais il n'est pas bon. OK? Donc, tu commences à essayer, OK, Maurice has not been, Mauritius as well hasn't been spared by the ongoing, I don't know, or calamity, or whatever happening on a global scale today. First, beginning, peu importe le premier paragraphe, you're going to be like, te littéralement décrire un step qui Maurice prend. Quel step qui Maurice prend peut-être à celle-là? Lockdown, right? Do you agree with it? The government, to make the point topic sentence, one of the first measures that the government instantly implemented, inspired, or looking at other countries, was implementing a lockdown that went for 2 weeks, right? Point. De la un peu plus, qui après des semaines qui lockdown là in carry out, it was further extended by 2 weeks. Fini. Now you're going to say, do you agree with it? Quand tu agree, tu es comme, yes, it was like worthwhile, parce que tu as beaucoup de les autres pays, comme tu as une place, par exemple, même Wuhan, l'Inde en entier qui fait the biggest cordon sanitaire d'entier l'histoire de l'humanité de 1,3 billion de monde did it. Like, why should a small country like ours not do it? Tu peux mettre un exemple, tu peux aller même. But ça n'est fini. À ça, c'est que tu as fait en bas, argumentative tone means you can argue your own point. You know? However, despite all of the, positive effects or positive effects that a lockdown can actually bring to the country, there are some economic ramifications that is eventually snowballed into. So, like, ça flare dans transition between ideas là. This is what the argumentative tone is about. Tu comprends? Même toi, avec comment, ok, allez, ok, tu es super content lockdown, ok? Ton argumentative tone, tu déjà un paragraphe à cette, c'est ton antithèse, de première antithèse, c'est economic ramifications, de deuxième antithèse à cette, à lockdown là. Les pas cater for every single income layer of society. However good, we may praise the lockdown, but the lockdown would only be a cure for a certain economic fringe of society. For the rest of the people who still have to work on a daily basis of their living, this was the worst curse in the last 10 years that they could have faced. Donc, ça ability of changing between contrasting ideas, là, c'est ça qui fait notre argumentative tone. Donc, vraiment, amène ça flair, là. Bring emotion to your writing. You can't just like be robotic and just be super informative and dump information on the reader, on the examiner. Parce que, franchement, if I want to know something, I just go and read it up. Peut-être, Oumera, si tu as envie de donner un exemple par rapport à numéro 3, like, assess the measures taken by the country in the view of the actual pandemic in terms of argumentative tone.
Actually, like in addition to what you said, I also think there's something that a lot of students miss out on. It's like it's not one point against the other point, but sometimes you can also have like relative words that you use, like opponents say, but that's not your personal opinion, and then like you refute what the opponents say. For example, it doesn't need to be like my thesis is really strong, my thesis is really strong, but I don't connect the two. Like I don't have a connection. Like it's either that or that, but like no evaluation of the claim.
Yeah. Et que si par exemple, pour penser que tu peux dire, peut-être pour exemplifier la chose, tu auras déjà comme qu'il y a opponents, tu auras pour dire comme qui nous peut look ahead to a new recession coming up, taux d'inflation pour augmenter ou n'importe quoi, GDP rate à le négatif bientôt. However, if the government wishes, il est capable d'avoir incentives, des affaires, like show nuances, show emotion when you're writing. Don't just like be robotic about something. C'est vraiment ce qui argumentative était. Franchement, j'encourage beaucoup dans d'autres faire livre parce qu'ils m'ont trouvé qu'ils ont un calibre nice, qu'ils ont actually faire livre. Donc, pour vraiment une compréhension de argumentative tone, moi, je vous suggère de ta vidéo là parce qu'ils me demandent l'exemple de argumentative tone là-bas, please. Donc, au plus pour les autres. Aussi, moi, je peux envoyer suggest un site web, si vous êtes capable d'écrire livre pour votre own reading and perusal, que vous êtes capable de votre propre turn of sentences, one propre idioms, one propre expressions, one affaires. It's called gp.framegare.com. Vous juste écrire dans le chat là. Donc, it's called gp.frame. I hope I'll just check it if it's actually like Framegare. Je pense qu'il y a déjà share ça dans le groupe. Yeah, it's gp.framegare.com. Donc, this guy, like, I myself use his website like crazy when I was a GP student. He's like a pure guru. Il fait carrément like, un papier, comment dire, Singapour, et Singapour, on est sur un niveau de papier GP, il est franchement bien plus élaboré. Alors qu'il nous a encore une question, comment me parler, moi, like, how is war going to affect us? Dans le papier GP, Singapour, c'est une question, comment explicitly, how does war affect transgenders, etc. Like, bien plus layered dans cette question. Donc, it's really good. Moi, je vous invite pour consulter site là, just browse through it.
Somebody's saying like some of the papers don't work, like maybe there's some technical issues, but like you still be able to get some good insights from there.
Yeah. Si je suis capable, peut-être adresse des trois questions qui étaient là. Anybody, if you want to like privately send a message to Umera.
Oh yeah. Avant de bouger Q&A, tu peux yeah. So future sessions, like we can like on. Yeah, we can go on like different things.
Project image là.
Image.
Yeah. Okay. Voilà. There you go. So sorry. Yeah. You were saying.
Yeah. So for future Zoom sessions, what we're thinking is like we want to like show you how we not how we go about it, but like how to actually research news articles, like research maybe vocabulary that you can use for these specific essays. We'll probably put these three as assignment. Not sure of the deadline yet, but like we'll communicate that
Ouais,
as and
on se
when
donne.
we go for it. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, so we'll give you free assignments. We'll show you how to actually find good news articles. You can always use Paulina's YouTube series to actually get like insights about how to write and what kind of tone you need to write with, everything that we talk about. Yeah, that should help you make it better, I think.
Yep. Donc, techniquement, ce que je pense pour faire, c'est qu'il peut nous faire peut-être demain ou bien aujourd'hui, so I'm not sure when, but like we'll definitely get to know. Donc, Omara and I were hoping que nous pour ourselves will research some news articles for each of those questions that you can see over there, 1, 2, 3. Donc, first, the Universal Declaration Rights, Human Rights. Deuxième, c'est Science is more important than religion. Et troisième, c'est Measures taken by the country. Nous-mêmes, nous pourrons prendre l'article pour eux. But we see essay wrote ban tournure of sentences, like basic expressions and everything, will give you the material. Okay? For each one of them. Use it, write an essay, take it as a remedial task, prends en considération tout le cas avec une des autres par rapport à striking examples qui nous finit provide. Prends en considération the sandwich, le commentaire dans the topic sentence, the concluding statement and in between. Prends en considération the ratio de thèse et antithèse et prends en considération the argumentative tone. Okay? For argumentative tone, again, with it, it's better that you watch the video that I posted on that. Use it, write it, send it back to us, we'll correct it. Once we feel like je ne finis corrige ça m'a fait de topic sentence, de concluding statement, je ne finis corrige ça m'a fait de ratio, thèse, antithèse, ce nombre, je ne finis corrige ça fait de sandwich là, je ne finis corrige ça fait de argumentative tone là, at least a little bit, je finis corrige ça fait de striking examples là. Nous vous faisons une prochaine vidéo, which we'll record and like just send, que nous montrons exactement how do we skim through news and take the most interesting ones. Qui sont sûrs à part d'autres auxquels les élèves capables de find it. Okay? I think it's a fair barter. I think it's a fair deal because après tout, like even like as teachers, we can't just like give you everything. There's a certain amount of work that you have to do on your own as well. Cool. Donc, I guess we can just move to Q&A if ever like there's anything.
For this part, I'll just say like you can unmute yourself, just don't everybody speak at once, like or you can chat, either is fine. Whatever you're most comfortable with.
Écrire, même en écran créole, peu importe.
Oh, well.
There should be something, like some question or the other. I'm pretty sure, peut-être vous devez penser, est-ce qu'ils ont envie de gagner l'exemple de topic sentence, ou envie de gagner l'exemple de concluding statement.
Okay. I'm getting 2 questions. One question is, will we be giving more assignments? Yes, we will be giving more assignments. L'engagement qui n'a une bonne essai séparément, that's not a problem. Just keep in mind that we have our own schedule. Like assignments is a good way for us to know, like, okay, we have this deadline, we'll be correcting after these, like 2-3 days. Even 1 week it might take us to correct, but like we know, like we will put time away for that. If you submit personal work, we'll still try to get to you, but like just be more aware of like our time commitment too. Okay, I'm getting a lot of questions. Do you want to add something?
Oui, envie juste dire d'affaires, super bien pour prendre notre question là. C'est, moi je veux dire, c'est que don't be afraid to send questions. Like honestly, we don't bite. Mogani, like we can, especially me, I can come across as like being very intimidating, extrêmement comme dire, oh, I'm just like saying things, but like I'm extremely sweet, trust me. Avant ma question, je vous trouve super étonnant. Un de mes épisodes qui m'a fait was actually a result of a question which was sent to me because dans mon tête, je me suis dit, plug and play, c'est un épisode de comment tu faisais écrire un paragraphe, etc. I never thought I would do a video like that. It's because I received 3 questions from people qui like, what should be the length of an essay? What should be a paragraph? How do you do it? How should be the skeleton of the essay?
Mm-hmm.
I made it because you asked. So ask, honestly.
Okay, somebody is asking how to get ranked in GP.
How do we
get ranked in GP?
Oh, okay.
I think I can answer this because of experience, but like I did not know I would get ranked in GP. I did the work, I put in the effort, but I never thought I'd be like in the top band. So I'm going to say this very crudely. You have to put in the work. It's not going to be like, I'm sure I'm going to get ranked. I'm sure this is going to happen. It's a lot of like what you already built within yourself, and also like how you react to the essay, how you react to the comprehension during the exam time. It's not like 100% like science or scientific method. The only thing that you can do is like go through the syllabus, go through the marking scheme, really understand what the examiner is looking for, and make sure that you're like giving those elements to the examiner. That's a really strong thing that I don't think
Yeah.
many students do this, but like it's really going to help you. Do you want to add something?
I think that's like a very, very important point that you mentioned, especially for the students who are competing.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of students don't know this, but whenever an exam like is over and there's a marking scheme, trust me, as much as a physics paper's marking scheme is important, as much as a maths paper's marking scheme is important, a GP marking scheme is as important. Parce que fini connaît qui examinateur là, dit tu peux expect ça va là. You're not giving him unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you realize, oh my God, I need to go even beyond that. Don't come on, like especially if you're competing, it's a very good idea to always have a marking scheme in your mind because you know what is expected and how you can defy the expectations and deliver above that. And
Yeah.
c'est super important.
Just to add on that, like you'll notice like the marking scheme is very open-ended for GP. It's not going to say you have to say this, you have to say this. It's just going to be like an indication of the type of answers they want. So don't feel bad if you see like, okay, I give this point, it's not in the marking scheme. It's not going to be like physics and math. It's just
Yeah,
more
of course not.
open-ended.
Yeah. I mean, it may not be among the proposed ideas, but if it's not there, then it's good on you.
Yep. I'm getting a question that's very specific about GMOs, like that she's having trouble or he is having trouble finding a ratio of thesis and antithesis, like pros and cons. So like a really important thing you can do here is actually just Google or like find news that's on the side that you're not getting enough information about. Like there's always like opposing sides of an argument, like whatever it is. Like even for like the simple case of Hitler, you'll find people who have like strong arguments saying like he actually did a good thing in some sense.
Good.
So you're never going to find a topic that's like only one-sided or like strongly one-sided. You will always have like both types of arguments, and then it's up to you to evaluate them and like use them in your own way.
Yeah, similar to above, I'd like 2 points to it. What I would say is that, and that was like highlighted by Umera before, like to me, your GP's curriculum now has become more cross-curricular. Donc, I honestly think that we will legit just get a question on GMO. So, like, as much as you're preparing about knowing more about GMO, you will never have an essay to debate about, give me the pros and cons of GMO. Like, honestly, avant la pas arrivé l'époque mama, like when she, like back in the 80s, in the 90s, it never even happened for us, and it will definitely not happen for your generation. Ça a une affaire. Et deuxième affaire, moi, je peux envie peut-être suggest à la personne, if you want, whatever research that you're doing for your examples, message us, email us with the list of examples that you found. We'll have a look at it. We'll assess it even before you write the essay. Then you go and write it. Do that. Honestly, writing is a step-by-step process. If you think you're going to finish the entire work and then give it to us correct, that's one possibility, but that's a possibility that any teacher can do.
Yeah.
You get the opportunity here with us to do it by step. Fais votre recherche, we will assess your research, give you a green light, and you go and write it.
Yeah, we can give even an assignment just based on like find 5 good examples of this topic. Like that's we're already open about those kind of things.
Trust me, you won't get this like even with your private tutors or at school.
Mhm.
I'm very serious. Anyway, next, do you have anything else?
I'm having a question about like should we always put a quote in the conclusion? I think we should address the point of quotes in general. So like I think quotes are a good way of showing like I know about like this person's opinion. It's also a good way to like introduce something that you wouldn't like introduce by yourself, but like be careful about quotes. Like at the end, it's your essay. You should be like the one having a voice in it. So that's what I would say. And especially in the conclusion, that's okay too, as long as you're able to lead it, like to integrate it with your conclusion as a whole. Don't just put a quote there just for the sake of it. Like make sure it's
Yeah.
consistent with your conclusion.
Yeah. To be honest, like moi, personnellement, I always avoided quotes because I was never good at it. Donc, c'est une affaire qui me pensait super important. Tout le monde élèves comprend aussi that your teacher may give you a plethora of options. You should know what's comfortable with your writing. Like quoting someone was never part of my personal style. So I could never do it. So if it works for you, good on you. If it doesn't work on you, dispose of that habit. Just
Yeah.
not, pas parce que tu poses que je dois faire, you should do it.
Yeah. Another question. When you write about a fact or an example, you're supposed to write the source. So, quoting like the source of your example or fact. I think it can be like I had one essay that I especially put that comment on. Um, if you have a good source and like people know about this, it's reliable, definitely put it in. Like it strengthens your essay, it strengthens your fact, your example. If you are going to put in a source that's not very common, like if you're putting it in, you have to at least give some context about it. Like you can't just say such newspaper talked about this, but nobody knows what the newspaper is about, if it's credible, if it's so be careful about how you use sources. It's a good thing to write sources in general, but sometimes it detracts from your overall point. So it's something that you have to like be a little bit mature on and like evaluate for yourself.
Yeah. Also, like something that actually, like I remember right now when you're saying this, des fois, tu peux, in a trouver mes source like News and Sunday ou Défi Media Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Really, an immersion context, I get it. But if you feel like your source is not something that the examiner would understand right away, put two commas in between, describe that source. Le Défi Media Plus, one of the leading media publishing houses in Mauritius with a readership of over whatever.
Exactly.
Donc, even if your source doesn't look credible, make it look why it is credible.
Mm-hmm.
Justify it.
Someone is saying like I find it hard to find topic sentences. For topic sentences, the best way you can actually think about it is like when you're doing your planning, you have mind maps, right? And you're like summarizing your idea in like 2-3 words sometimes. That's the essence of a topic sentence. It's like your mind map. Try to think
Yeah.
about it that way.
Si je me juste edit là-dessus, littéralement, j'étais dans un essai là. Ok, moi, je vais trouver c'est là, mais il y a une mind map devant moi, c'était là. Mais le topic, c'est women. Je mettais qui m'a cause de education, moi, dans healthcare, moi, cause employment, moi, cause leadership, moi, cause discrimination. My topic sentence is nothing more than putting the word education in that first sentence, putting the word healthcare in that sentence, first sentence of the second paragraph, putting the word employment in the third paragraph, first sentence, topic sentence, and putting the word leadership in the fourth paragraph of my topic sentence. Simple. It's almost like in posant une question, oubliez ce que je vais NSC, tu n'as pour dire, dans la ligne, tu n'as pour répondre essai là. That's all the topic sentence is.
Yep. How do we compress the ample material we have in only 75 words? That's a tough question. It comes with practice actually. Like, for me, I don't usually do 75 words paragraph. I do 100 words paragraph just because I feel more comfortable with, and then I actually like have less paragraphs to work with. That's my style. You have to find your own style, but 75 words is a good guideline because it makes you be concise. Like you won't be telling like the whole story, or you won't be telling like you won't be going into like details that you don't need to go into for that question. Like that's a skill that you need to master. So 75 words is a good guideline. You will be able to like play with it and find your own comfort zone in time, but keep the guidelines like to start with. It's going to help you.
Yeah. Et qui est super important, like, si moi je comprends du tout as a student, trust me, I was a student who would write 2,000 words essays.
Yeah.
I was a student who would go above like a 1,500 word essay all the time. For moi, with summer was like just the intro and the conclusion. I was that student until I went to university and I understood what it means to be within the word limits. Trust me, it's a really good training for university. And to be very honest, GP tested the ability of being concise or being precise. And I honestly so far haven't pulled the ears of anybody overstretching a paragraph. I will do it eventually in the end. Parce qu'il y a une affaire qui s'appelle redundancy, qui m'ont pas une cause là-dessus du tout. Ça, c'est le concept exact cause là-dessus, mais moi, I just don't want to overwhelm you people with this. But redundancy is like beating around the bush, using an excessive amount of word to say the exact same thing that could have been said in 10 words. Donc, ça, actually, it's seen as a lack of mastery of language. The inability to say something in less words instead of a 75-word long sentence is seen as a lack of maturity of language. Donc, actually, take it as a encouragement, as a framework that it's a challenge for you to be able to express yourself in the least amount of words possible. Take it as your mini Twitter account. Trust me, it's good training.
Someone is saying, assess the impact of technology on the environment. I find this one hard. I have already written an essay on this. Can I send you guys? You can, like, I talked about this earlier. Like, you can always send us like your personal essays. We'll go for them. Just be aware, like, of the time commitment. That's all. Like, don't send us like 10 essays in 1 week. Probably won't be able to get through all of them. Like, yeah, definitely.
Just email.
Yeah,
Just email or send a message anytime. So do more like I have time right now, so just like send.
Okay, send most to Pamela. You can send some to me. Yeah, I'm working during the week, so usually during the week I can't actually get to like student questions except it's
I'm
very
still
short,
a
like
student.
5
I'm
minutes.
at uni, so you can send it to me. My exam's over. But peut-être, mais on va juste faire un petit commentaire la question de la personne. An impact of technology on the environment, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Something very important, and video super banal que tu fais, fall in love with writing. View it once. It's I think episode 2 or something. C'est just to make you less afraid about putting your thoughts down on paper. À times, on a beaucoup d'idées qui bloquent dans la tête. It's just about picking up the pen and writing it. Watch that video. If after watching it, you still don't know what to write, send me an email. Episode 2.
Okay. Somebody is asking about the marking scheme technique. Does it apply for all subjects as well? Should we prepare on all topics? Okay, I'm a science student, so I'm going to speak about science, GP, and French.
Yeah.
Science, yes. Yes. Marking scheme is really important. But like science, one thing you have to really keep in mind is like the syllabus changes. So there will be some stuff that won't be past marking fields, but that can be examined in the future. So that's science. GP and French, the marking scheme is really important for you to get a grasp of what the examiner is looking for. It's not going to like define how you deal with the essay, the comprehension. It's not going to like, it's not like a fast and I forgot the expression. It's not like you have to go by the marking scheme all the time. It's going to like guide you. That's what I consider it for GP and French. So by the way, do you have anything to add?
I have like a big thing to add, to be very honest. Like even I was a science student and then I did GP and French as my subs. I can't speak for like eco or like socio or like whatever other subjects. Honestly, the way you should imagine the examiner correcting your paper is just like this. They have the mark scheme here. They look at the keywords. They don't even bother reading a paragraph. They saw the idea, tick. They didn't see the idea, back, bye.
Yep.
Legend, I've had to learn how to write a structured physics question within the boundaries of a marking scheme. Because or else with a complicated English, you'll never get the mark. They just want a simple what they see in the marking scheme thing. Marking scheme should become like your prayer. Trust me, like I don't see any way out of this.
Yeah, I mean physics and math, even chemistry is like very structured, very like you have to know the subject. You don't actually have to like expand it or flourish it. You just need to know the stuff. That's all.
And for GP, honestly, like language will be judged by like a linguist, by semantics, by like the grammar people. It's not that if your idea is not there, it's not going to be considered. Absolutely not. Actually, if your idea is not there, it's seen as, oh my God, they actually have something fresh to give. But I'll tell you, most of the time, just take a past exam paper, do one of these essays, go and check the marking scheme. You'll be like, oh my God, all my ideas are already there. There's not one idea that your GP examiner hasn't already thought of. Trust me. And it is your job, if you're competing, trust me, the amount of ideas that they have for each essay, you'll shit your pants, like in a way of speaking. You'll shit your pants thinking like, oh my God, how did I not think about all of that? It was so easy. And then you'll be like, oh my God, they thought about all of that already. What should I write about that's exceptional now? So just do that. Actually take an essay that you've already written, go and check the marking scheme for it, and you'll be like, wow.
Someone is asking a question in Creole. So, excusez le cas d'un peu plus exemple personal ones. So personal ones, I think it means opinions. Parce qu'il y a fois, il y a tendance juste mettre le bon exemple pour facts and all, et que nous pensons personal opinions. So how to differentiate between facts and opinions again?
T'as envie de commencer?
Okay, so for example, I'm going to try and put this as concisely as I can. Like, you can have a fact that in Mauritius, like the government is made up of, I don't know the exact statistics, but like 20% of women. That's a fact. How do you make it your personal opinion? You can say like, okay, well, I'm going to analyze this in terms of the constituencies. Are actually enough women like even applying to get to the government? Or maybe like,
yeah,
are we having women in other power positions that are actually like having an impact on I think so are we having enough women who are having impact positions? It's not only that 20% is made 20% females are in the government, but like how are we looking at it in a like more global perspective? That's going to be my opinion. That's not like a fact that I'm just putting out there. It's like I'm evaluating that statistics, right?
let's actually let's do a little pitch game. Donc, Umeran and fact, I'll do the opinion, okay? Umeran and fact, only 33 ou bien 23% of the parliament has a female representation, or only 2% has a youth representation, youth being under 40 in the Mauritian parliament, apparently. Okay, Injasa, ça c'est un fact. How do I put it as my opinion? It is deplorable that the percentage representation of women/youth in the Mauritian parliament stands at only X%.
Yeah.
It was a fact. I said it. I choose to use the word deplorable. I choose to use the emphasis on the adverb only. I literally changed a fact to an opinion.
Yeah. We have less than a minute left. Like I just skimmed through the questions and then we will try to get like the main essence and answer those. So how many examples can we cite per paragraph? For one-sided essay, should we state the ideas to be elaborated in the intro? Where can I send the essay? Do I always need to use Shakespeare while doing any GP essay? So I'm going to like quickly go through them. So examples per paragraph, that really depends on your paragraph. Like there are some ideas that we will give that will be really like more like philosophical, like more about like reasoning rather than like actual fact based. Like still fact, but like a little bit of a different essence to it. So that will depend. But like I usually like suggest 2 examples per paragraph as a good guideline to think about.